We are back with Freddie Negretti, and you can see in the right-hand corner Freddie's new book, Smile Now, Cry Later. You all should check that out. And like we said, Freddie is going to be in New Jersey this weekend at Mario Boss IT convention, and Freddie's kind of booked up, but you never know, he might be able to squeeze you in. But even if you can't, you should pick up the book, go talk to Freddie, he'll sign the book for you. Or you could just watch Freddie at work, which is worth the price of admission right there. This is what Freddie's working on right now. If you're just joining us, Freddie will explain briefly the piece. Freddie, you want to reiterate what we're working on right here?
Yeah, we're doing an Aztec princess, just kind of the face. This is Pepe, and he has this piece from Jack Rudy, so he wanted me to do my take of a Aztec girl above it. Jack Rudy's my partner. We worked together for years. We did the pioneered that black and gray thing together. So it's kind of like a collab.
And Pepe, how long ago was the Jack Rudy piece put on here?
He did it a little bit over a year ago.
Oh, so it's relatively new. Oh,
yeah, to get a tattoo like Jack Freddie takes a lifetime.
Absolutely. You got it within a year, two of them within a year.
Yeah, it's totally an honor to have.
Now you gave Freddie the overall, well, a rough concept. Did you give him any hard artwork to check out?
No. Everything is his
wow, that's really amazing. So there's no reference on this piece. The only reference is coming from Freddie's brain.
I was just saying before, that's what we call the magic of tattooing. When you create something.
That's the only way he would have it. I mean, I could have drawn something up, but he wanted something freehand, you know. Back in the day, that's the only way we did it. You know, we didn't have computers and all this stuff. So, we didn't even have a copy machine in our shop.
Oh yeah.
Everything was a skill.
Freddie, how big do you normally, not normally work, but how big would you go, piece-wise? Do you feel comfortable?
Oh, I'll go as big as anybody wants.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've done a few back pieces, and I mean, I wish there was more, you know. I got 3 or 4 sleeves going on right now.
Now, do you like to complete the piece in the sitting? Some artists really like to get it all done, you know, or do you like going back in?
No, what I like to do is, you know, like if I'm doing a sleeve, map it all out, or at least figure out what main images we're gonna have and what background is, and then and start with a piece and get that piece done, that section done, section done, section done. I don't like to do a big outline and have them come back. What if they never come back?
Yeah, you see people walking around with lots of big outlines sometimes.
Yeah, I don't like doing outlines. I like to, you know, take 6 to 8 hours and get a big section finished. So you never know what's gonna, if they have money problems or they can't get it finished right away, at least they got something that's finished now, you know.
That's a good philosophy. Now, position is becoming more and more crucial as people get a lot more work done. It used to be you just, you had your bicep, your shoulder and stuff, but now people are working pieces throughout their body, throughout, all the way up and down their legs, So this piece, I saw that you took a lot of time in deciding where on his leg. I mean, Pepe kind of had an idea, but and obviously position is important. And from the tattoo artist's point of view,
Well, like
how do you
this one-
determine that? Right.
You know, so we wanted an Aztec girl, and we kind of had this space. Jax is facing that way, so it'd be obscure if I faced her that way. I didn't want to do a bunch of feathers, so we're just kind of indicating the Aztec headdress and just concentrating on her face. The designing on her face here is a method that the Mayans used to do. The women used to do scarification in these kind of designs on the side of their face, and then they would rub pigment in there to make it blue or green or whatever. So these designs are like Mesoamerican as well.
And Mesoamerican means what?
It's Mexico, the civilizations of Mexico before the Europeans came.
Any advice for beginners?
Just be teachable. You know, don't ever think that you're so good. Oops, sorry about that.
Freddie's taking a break. Got a phone call coming in.
No, that's okay. I'm just.
We'll take that.
I'll talk to them later. What was I blabbing about?
Oh, about people coming up in the business.
Oh, yeah. Just never stop learning. Never stop being the best that you can be. Always be teachable, because there's always a better way. And I think you'll do fine.
We're going to take another look at the cover of Freddie's book. This is kind of an interesting shot. We got Freddie in the foreground on the cover of the book, Freddie in the background, working on Pepe, who not only has got Freddie's work there, but right below it, Jack Rudy. So there's a lot of history in this 3-shot here.
Yeah, thumb through the book, the pictures.
Good idea.
I got good pictures. A lot of people were surprised that I would still have pictures, old pictures from prison, and even when I was in juvenile camp and stuff like that.
But we're going to open up to an arbitrary page with a picture on it. We're going to show it, and Freddie's going to comment on it. All right, so, look at this. We got Freddie working out. Let's give the audience a good shot here.
That's when I was 14, and I was in a juvenile camp. It was called Camp Afterball.
How much weight is Freddie curling there? Looks to be a decent amount, like 60 pounds at 14. Yeah. That's pretty impressive. All right, here we got Freddie, and
Tattooing Ed Hardy.
he's tattooing. Do you recognize that's Ed Hardy? Both very young men, both of them. Look at that.
People always wonder. Yes, I did do the CS on his chest as well.
Oh wow! Look, see, and Freddie did that.
Even you'll notice I have the wrap, but no gloves.
Oh, look at that! Oh, we might have to report Freddie for that. No gloves.
Yeah, we didn't use them back in the day. And I was always OCD after, like, oh God, I can't get this ink out of my nails.
But you do have the wraps. That's funny. You do have them around your knuckles. We keep seeing the Frosty on your neck. People are asking about that.
Frosty was my son Lorenzo, who passed away. He got shot, and that seemed to be almost the end for me, because when my son died, I just couldn't handle it, and I just plunged myself into destruction, you know, with heroin but I saw the light, and I learned how to deal with my son's death. I learned how to deal with death in general. I got sober, and a lot of my book is about that, my experience with God, the change in my life, the focus on my work that I'm doing now, because obviously I wasted a lot of time on drugs. So it's all in the book.
Chris says, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Frosty. Thank you.
A lot of people are asking that you cross the Atlantic and come over to England. Does that look like a possibility?
Definitely. Definite possibility. I haven't yet. Kind of like a homebody. But I definitely want to travel around and do shows in different cities and different countries.
Here's another shot. Here's Freddie. Yep, and it says circa 1978. So you were only at 4 years old that you were tattooing in 78, huh?
What do you mean, professional or?
No, I'm only kidding.
Oh.
So you were a little older than 4 in 1978.
Yeah, he's not too funny. I was born in 1978.
There you are. So you're showing off now, Pepe.
Yeah, Pepe was born in 1978.
The year I was born.
The 70s were good, man.
So yeah, so I mean, I know people ask it a lot, but what would you say a couple big differences in the industry? You know, mid-70s, throughout the 70s to now, middle of the 2010s here.
Well, tattooing, of course, wasn't as popular. I remember when I first got out, and I had tattoos all over, and I'd go to like Disneyland or somewhere and wear a tank top, and you know, people would be like, "Oh my God!" I would be the only person in the whole park that had tattoos all over, and you know, people were intimidated by it. But I noticed something, that the little kids, they loved it. They'd be like, "Look at the tattoos, Mommy! Look at the tattoo man!" And that's when I knew there was a future for tattooing. I go, you know what? There's a good future in tattooing because kids love it.
Yeah, and that's the generation now that's getting tatted up.
Yeah. And their kids.
Right.
Evan Seinfeld says
Who?
hello. Evan Seinfeld.
Oh, where's he at?
We were just on the phone with him.
Oh, that's my dog.
Jenny wants to know, I'm sure there's been a million of them, but so let's say style-wise, what's your favorite tattoo?
My favorite style to actually tattoo, of course, is black and gray. But my favorite style has always been the Japanese style. And I think because, you know, when I first met Ed Hardy, I had never seen Japanese tattoos. I never seen, you know, like one tattoo covering somebody's whole body, you know, or one design concept. And it just blew me away that the Japanese did it like that. And this is in the 70s when I first saw it. And I was always amazed by it, and I still am today. It's my favorite style of tattooing.
Do you have any Japanese work on you?
No. That's a good question. But look at this. Ed Hardy did this little demon guy. God, my tattoos look really old. I should shave my arms, but he did that little
this is an
demon guy.
exclusive look at Freddie Negretti's arms. You're not going to get this too many other places.
So he did this little Japanese demon in black and gray, but he put a girl in the throat because he always thought I was like a ladies killer.
So you got to get a big Japanese piece. You got to save a spot.
I got my legs.
There you go. What? Well, they're asking about the ink you like to work in. So let's talk about that.
For the black and gray, of course, I use.
Oh, there you go.
Mark Mahoney's Gangster Gray.
There you go.
And I'm gonna be doing whatever it's called, tutorial with Intends and Sullen Clothing, and it'll be on Sullen TV, on how I set it up and how I use it, because I do more with it than just those inks itself. So I like the pre-mixed inks because they're safe. When you mix your own grays with Pelican, if it sits there too long, it could get bacteria.
What's Pelican?
Pelican is the kind of ink that tattooers use for years and years. And we used it to make black and gray ink, but it had a shelf life because bacteria would build up in there and people's tattoos could get infected if you had the premix too long, So that problem's eliminated by getting the tattoo companies that premix it themselves and put all the stuff that needs to be in there to keep it from collecting bacteria.
Okay, I'm going to take one last question and we'll take a break. All right. How long you've been doing tattoos, and that's the second part. And what is the longest tattoo you've ever done? So how long have you been in the business, and what is the largest piece, I guess they're asking you about?
Well, I'll answer the first one first. So the longest I worked on a tattoo, and I've done it a few times, is 10 hours. I think after 4 hours, the person's pretty good, But 10 hours, they start to fold. And I started professionally tattooing in 1977. So we need a calculator to figure that out. But I started tattooing when I was, hand poking myself and my homeboys, and I was like 13 years old. And then, of course, tattooing in prison with a homemade machine and stuff. So I was tattooing way before I started professional.
Right. All right, we're going to let Freddie get back to work, and we will check back with him in a little bit, so stay tuned. And here's a last look at Freddie's book. Well, not a last look, but until we come back. Smile now, cry later. See you in a bit.